This is a review of Chapter 2 in the book, and I'm going to talk about different things. The first one is circular references. I'm opening up this file, and it's saying we can't put something. I'll explain this. I'm in cell B10. Oops. I should say A10. If you look in the formula bar, it wants to put A10 in there. When you get this, this means you have a problem. When you were doing the formula, you did something like this. You highlighted, went out of the range. Okay. All you have to do is, there's two ways. One is to delete and redo it again, or to go up into the formula bar and literally edit it. You got the correct total now. Next thing I want to talk about is the payment function and naming of ranges. This is discussed in the book. I'm going to do a demo of it. These three orange cells are going to be named, and the data in there will be in there. Rather than doing the F4 key, if you're copying something, you'll see another example in a few minutes, which will explain it even better. For the most part, I would just be saying B4, B5, B6. So I'm going to highlight these cells. I'm going to go into here. I go onto the formulas. I click on Create from Selection. It's in the left section. Create names from values in the left column. I'll do that. We'll see what happens. I click on the Name Manager. It shows it there. If you want to rename them, you click on the first one there, and you could just type in, without spaces, amount, finance. Say OK. Then you go into here. We leave it alone, okay? I'm just showing you that I close this out. When you're doing this, you got to type them in accurately, or it's not going to work. So we close this out. One thing, if you are doing it, you can't put spaces, you can't put numbers in there. Okay. So if we're doing this thing here, we want to know how much we're financing on the car. And that's a formula. And you're subtracting these numbers. So that's what you're financing. We're going to do the payment function here. And I'll talk about this as we do this. We go into Financial. We click on PMT, and then we got these three boxes that are bold that need to be filled out. The bottom two are optional. So we're going to go in here for the rate. Instead of clicking in B5, we type in interest underscore rate, and it's showing a number there because I spelled it right. And when you're doing this, there's 12 months in a year. You divide it by 12. The next one here, we're paying this over 4 years, actually 48 payments. So it's 4 years times 12. Years times 12. You could have another cell with the number of years. You want to know the present value of the loan. I want it to appear positive. To do that, we just make it a negative here. Amount finance, I say OK. So that worked. The beauty of this is that if we really can't afford it, we want it, we can pay a little bit more for the down payment, like we have another $4,000, make it $11,000. See how it all changes. Okay. Next one here, I want to talk about vertical lookups. VLOOKUP. You're going to get the grade, okay? So, and that you're teaching two classes, literature and English. We click on grades. We're going to name this range. We're going to call it grades. You don't put the captions in here when you're doing it. You just highlight the data. It has to be, as you can see, in ascending order. You can't have random numbers. So I go in here. I can click inside here, type in grades. Grades. So now I'm going to go into here. I'm going to do a VLOOKUP. Before we do this, you have two columns, column 1, column 2. The result, the grade, is in column 2. So we go into here. We're going to do the first one. We're going to click on formulas. We're going to click on lookup and reference, VLOOKUP, and the value in here, and I should be in the correct cell. So if I go into lookup and reference, VLOOKUP, I want to go into the final grade for Marissa. And then the table array, instead of highlighting all those cells and hitting the F4 key, I type in grades. The column index number, the letter grade is in column 2. So we pull it down, and we could say letter grade. And I could center it if I want. I just want to show you this. If I were to round this, it's saying a B plus. It's actually an 89 point now. An 89.9 is not an A minus. It changes at 90. So you could have an 89.99999. It's still going to be a B plus. The beauty of doing this is that we can do the formula. If you're doing about 12 different students, you just go into here, and then you could do the VLOOKUP, or you could click on the FX, go into most recently, it shows it there. So the lookup value is over here, and then I'm going to type in grades, column 2. It's done. C plus for the Marissa in this class. We've got the grades for everybody.